feared through Killarney. Now I'm back to hitching with the wind. But if Mickey Flynn should ever find me, I'll throw me caution all behind me and square off on that son of a bitch again. He cracked open a river too, he beat me Sunday through and through, danced a jig over my unconscious frame. I won me healthy sheriff fights, well lucky son still had me life since Mickey Flynn beat me dumb and lame.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Disciples of Ed here on the Always Next to Your podcast. I'm your host, Rob. Today I am joined not just by Steve, who's normally with me, but also by Shane. He is appearing on this show. Guys, how's it going today?
Yeah, not too bad.
Shane?
Fine, and you?
Getting a little bit closer to Flyers hockey.
Yes,
so it's been a really long off season, a really tedious, boring off season. But the regular season, training camp first off, is creeping up, kind of getting here a little bit slowly, but it's getting closer. So we got some Flyers hockey to talk. Haven't had a whole lot to talk about throughout the off season, but there are a few storylines here and there. Something that came up recently was a tweet, Steve, you actually saw. I didn't see it myself. Something regarding Tyler Pitlick being the moving up to the third line. What do you read into that?
Well, I saw it from Bill Meltzer, and then just a bunch of people domino affecting talking about it. And they're doing all these advanced stats. Like, yes, he produces at this level. He's got this type of skill set to do this. For he actually wouldn't be a bad option at the third line right wing. Me, sure, that could be true, but I would just much prefer him to be the fourth line winger, and I would rather have rookie, Frost or Farabee up there. Scott Laughton is a guy who I think is going to eventually take that spot with Rupsaw being the fourth line center. That's just what I think. And, Pitlick, sure, he could be solid at third line right winger. You're comparing him to his time with the Dallas Stars and how he did perform decent there. But this Flyers team is a team that has more depth than the Stars have had in the past few years, which is why, sure, you can be okay, but you would much prefer him to be on your fourth line, putting them there's 13 goals a year, killing penalties, providing good energy on your shifts with a bit of a scoring touch. But I would just prefer seeing a rookie there, or like I said, Scott Laughton.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you. I'll expand more on that in a little bit, but yeah, by and large, I agree with a lot of what you said there. Shane, what is your feeling on this?
Yeah, it's real similar. First of all, I'm a huge Rupsaw guy, so I do definitely hope that sooner rather than later he gets to take over that center spot in that fourth line. But for me, I sit there and I think me and Steve probably talked about it just via text or just maybe even during Whiskey Ramble. That fourth line of Raffl, Laughton, and Pitlick to start that season is really fucking good. For all the years that we got a bunch of well overplayed minutes from fourth line members
Chris Van Velde
during the Hackstall era, that's a quality fourth line there. I'm okay with that line getting chunks of minutes there, killing penalties, like Steve said. And then for me, if you're going to insert a rookie, if you're going to insert a Frost, if you're going to insert a Farabee, I'd rather than play with someone with more creativity and overall offensive talent to help initiate that start of their game. Lindblom, for me, on the one wing, is a guy who is going to perform. He had a solid second half last year, and I really think Patrick's going to have a really strong year sliding back down into that third center. So I would trust those two line mates to get more out of a rookie than what I would trust Laughton and Raffl.
Yeah, I tend to agree with that. I think Pitlick is best served as a fourth line guy, just because, like you said, it gives you a talented fourth line that can go out there and actually do stuff other than just play defense. That fourth line can go out there and provide offense in a pinch if you need it every once in a while. And the third line, I think it makes the third line better, honestly. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see which way they go, but Pitlick, to me, best served as a fourth line guy.
Yeah.
So, speaking of line combinations and whatnot, what do you guys have as maybe a surprising projection or a surprising lineup decision that the Flyers may make at some point this season? And Shane will...
You want to start with me or you want to start with Steve?
Start with Shane.
So I didn't go with anything in the forwards group. I think that eventually at some point during this year, don't get me wrong, I know what Niskanen has been throughout the entirety of his career. We've seen some drop-off on speed and just overall ability out there for him. He is up there in age. I do think that with a new coaching staff that can come in here and kind of reassert some energy into Gostisbehere, who for me, damn, I'm really loud in my own head right now. Holy shit. All right. For me, I think this is the year that Ghost sits there and gets the opportunity to work solely on that offensive part of his game first, and then allow that defense to come naturally on that third pairing. But I do think that midway through the year, it's going to be a Ghost Provorov pairing again. They showed some really nice chemistry there during their brief time 2 years ago, and then Ghost was, well, neither player was very good last year to what their potential is. But I
they
do
both
think
significantly dropped off.
They did, but I do think that there's a natural chemistry of playing together there, and their skill sets oddly complement each other for me. And I think that allowing each one of them to maximize what it is that they do great actually keeps the other parts of them more in line and more controlled. So I do think by midway through, that'll be your top pair defense again.
I could see it. I actually have a different thought on that, but I'll get to that later. Steve, what is your bold projection that the Flyers might make as an interesting move this year?
I got two. One is you'll see Frost or Farabee. I think they're just very interchangeable of like who really makes the team, and I also think like with call-ups, like someone struggling, you send them down, call them up, but they'll be on the first line for a bit of the season. Konechny drops down to like third. Yeah, but also I could very much see a very young third line, Lindblom, Patrick, and then Frost or Farabee. Yeah, and they would be on the left, and Lindblom slides to the right.
I would love to see either Frost or Farabee get that good time on the third line, because both of them have such high ceilings. I love what the ceiling can be for Morgan Frost. He certainly performed very well at juniors. Didn't really show out much in training camp last year, but I think that's kind of just getting used to things at the NHL level. I think that if he gets the decent enough time at the third line position, he's going to show us what he's truly made of and what his ceiling truly is as an NHL player, and I think it's going to be something that excites us a lot this year. But my bold projection for a surprising lineup decision that the Flyers might make is Travis Sanheim seeing first pairing minutes. I'm not saying it's going to happen throughout most of the season, but I could see it happening for at least a good handful of the games, maybe 25-30% of the games.
Of which?
Probably in place of Provorov.
I was thinking that we could see them together, maybe at one point.
I also I wouldn't rule that out. I don't see it as being likely, but I wouldn't rule it out.
I think Vigneault wants to do the whole lefty-righty thing.
Yeah,
so
that's exactly my reasoning there. But I do see Travis Sanheim getting first pairing minutes this year. I think that what he showed me last year, I'm actually starting to believe that he has a higher ceiling than Provorov does. I think that Provorov, at this point, may still be a more proven player, a more sturdy player, but certainly Travis Sanheim, there's a lot of talent there, and perhaps they could get the most out of that talent and develop it the most with first pairing minutes for him.
I could see he's definitely worthy of it based off last year, but I really could see, Provorov's playing 22, Sanheim 21, and then you see Niskanen 20, and then so on and so forth. Yeah. I could really see him being the second leading ice time player for the defense.
Yeah, I would not be surprised if that was the case at all. So it'll be interesting to see what they do there. That is certainly for sure. We're going to move on to the Armchair GM segment, which is something I'm going to implement in every episode now, and we'll start off. We're going to do a different division, a different divisional trade partner with each episode. So we'll start off with the Metropolitan Division this time. And what it is basically you have to come up with a trade between the Flyers and a team from said division that would make sense for both teams. It will be cap friendly for both teams. It will benefit both teams, not some dream fantasy trade that only benefits the Flyers. So we'll start off with the Metropolitan Division today, and what do you guys got? We'll start with you, Steve, this time.
Robert Hagg.
So we all have Hagg.
3 for 3 with Hagg. That's
to the Rangers for Jesper Foss, but we're also adding in a third or fourth round pick. You save the Rangers $700K in cap space. They also get a draft pick to help their rebuild, and also get a 6'7" swinger guy to help their defense. We get a third line right winger, who's also a UFA, so see how you feel about him. It is a little bit more favorable to us, But they needed the cap space because they have to sign, Anthony D'Angelo. You have to sign. I had it, but I lost it. They basically need to get cap compliant, really, and saving even $700K for like a third round pick is a pretty decent move.
Sure.
See, I could see something like that happening though, but I see the Flyers actually getting a draft pick in return. But I'll elaborate that. Shane, you had kind of a similar projection there. What were your thoughts on that?
Since you went Rangers, I'll go Devils. Also Haig and just late round pick. It's to me just like Steve said, they're in a similar situation. Both teams improved their defense so much in the offseason there and solidified it with big names, and both of them could benefit from having a swing 6 or 7 defenseman. And for some people in Philadelphia, think this man can play defense. I'm just hoping. Other people, it's you, isn't it, Steve?
I think he can play defense. I just don't think it's as much as I thought he would have.
Yeah.
You think he can play defense, you just don't think he's very good at it.
He's a 6th guy. He's basically a number 6.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, and there's just no room for him now. I mean, you got to give Morin an opportunity to be number 7. So that's why I think he's got to go. Me too. And also a change and, scenery will
for sure.
benefit him.
I think Morin's been just a victim of some really bad luck kind of injuries. That ACL with a skate caught in the board was just awful. I disliked seeing that.
Glad I didn't see it.
Yeah, now. Yeah, welcome in ACL-less brother. But for me, I'm going to go with the Devils. Same type of thing, solidifying that 6-7 spot on the defensive end. Possibly, if you wanted to pair Haig with a pick and try to get a mid-round as opposed to a late-round pick, maybe. But they have the cap space to do it, and like I said, I think it benefits both sides.
See, that's kind of what I see the Flyers doing with the Rangers. I'm going to say that, once again, we'll go with Haig, so it'll be 3 for 3, trading Robert Haig within the division. I think that they could...
so you had to put realistic in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I could have had a lot of fun with that.
I was looking at Voracek things at first.
Same with me. That's what I said.
Nothing's realistic.
Man,
I was looking
untradeable
at
Jake Voracek.
I was looking real hard at Carolina for a Voracek thing.
There's no money. No. Well, Carolina, actually.
Carolina might, but they wouldn't.
Well, then they have the money to do it, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, they have the money, but they wouldn't want to eat that contract, though. Yeah. So, I think Haig, and you pair him with, I'd say, a late-round pick, and trade him to the Rangers, try to trade up in the draft, I guess, somewhere a mid-round, like a 4th or 5th. You're going to have to eat a contract. Steve, you mentioned Jesper Foss. I don't know who else they have, really, in that same...
probably in that one would probably be Bolesky.
Bolesky, he's another option.
Because he's probably going to get buried otherwise. I was studying all these cap situations while you guys were doing Cap We Trust.
That's exactly
and I went
what...
to say both teams. I wanted to say Columbus, and then I'm like, Tortorella would love him. But I just couldn't find, cap-wise or, even, roster-wise how it would work.
See, that's exactly what I thought of when I kind of came up with this Armchair GM thing. I knew that you would be on Cap Friendly. You've mentioned it in about every single episode that we've done. You are the Cap Friendly, Cap Geek, whatever it is, guy here. The aficionado on that.
Cap Geek was the best, but
Cap Geek is the one that
did it passed away, unfortunately.
Yeah, it sucks.
But Cap Friendly has really taken over and really done a great job with it. And thank you, Cap Friendly. you have entertained me throughout all the slow periods at work.
It's good to know that you're being productive at work. Yeah. For the podcast.
Exactly. But Columbus was one.
Work for the podcast too.
Columbus is one I was really interested in because again, Tortorella could help, and I was looking like Sonny Milano. He's got some legal issues going on right now. That's just another guy that could fill our prospect pool.
Take their sloppy seconds.
Too. Yeah, sure. But that was just my secondary one for it.
Yeah, I see them doing something to the Rangers, something involving Haig and eating a contract and trading him in the draft. It's probably the most realistic option to me, at least. So speaking of the Rangers, former Ranger Kevin Hayes in the news recently for making the comment that he only signed with the Flyers because they overpaid for him. What do you guys make of this? Is this a red flag to you, or is it just, whatever, brush it off? What do you guys think about this one?
I don't give a shit. To me, anywhere that you go, you have to produce. First, you're always, not always, but I think more often than not, players are going to be faced with the decision of, do I play for a town that I don't particularly want to play in because they're going to give me the most value as to who I am as a player, and then the same thing with the associations to sit there and they say, you got to take this fucking deal. You're resetting a market at this particular point. For me, it's very similar to the Bryce Harper thing. LJ mentioned it a handful of times leading into or prior to him signing, and then again after he signed that Harper didn't want to come here. He only came here because we gave him $330 million and everything else that he wanted. Okay, fine. You're fucking dumb. If you can we curse on your segment? I can't remember.
It's fine.
All right,
it's a
good.
Flyers segment, man. Nobody.
I just wanted to make sure because I didn't know how much editing I had to do after this. But you're dumb if you think that there are players on your team right now, no matter what city you were listening from, that all want to be there. Like someone didn't want to go to your city, and they're there. Whether it's via trade, whether they signed there as a free agent, whatever it was.
Money talks.
Money does talk, and to me, so does winning. In a town like this, we don't give a shit so long as you're producing. Now, if he starts out cold, yeah, Philly's going to be on him for those comments, and that's fine. That's just what this city is. It's what most cities are going to do. But this guy is playing with some serious depth and some scoring talent there. He's got a goal-mouth guy with JVR right there. I think Jake Voracek is going to have his best season as a Flyer. I think he's going to eclipse that. What is it, 85 was his previous high?
Write this down, because I don't believe
that is a bold prediction right there.
I just think that with the solidifying that center spot with Hayes, a guy who's great 5-on-5, the power play can't get worse than it was last year. It was like 23rd in all of hockey last year, whereas previously it was always top third. Jake's going to have a really, really nice year, and a lot is going to do with Kevin Hayes. And to me, if those things happen, no one's going to give a shit that he didn't want to play here.
Well, also, he's going to be more productive on the power play because we're not going to have LePerriere coaching it anymore.
Well, that was
LePerriere was the kill. Noblock was the power
that's
play.
right.
Also, speaking of the Rangers, they hired Chris Noblock and Gord Murphy to coach
so
their AHL
their
team.
power play is going to suck.
Oh, their AHL team.
Yeah, their AHL
Okay.
team.
I was like, what?
Yeah, Noblock's the head, and then Gord is the assistant.
Well, good for Noblock.
Yes. I think
Either way, the coaching improvements, the power play is not going to be as bad as it was last year.
Right.
Steve, what's your take on this whole Kevin Hayes coming out and kind of opening his mouth?
I understand him. Definitely. As a player, I would say yes. That would have to repay me. I see it from his point of view. He probably want to go back to New York, or even I think he's from Boston. Probably, hopefully, go there or somewhere in the area. I guess we're kind of.
It's weird that he's from Boston because he looks just like Dave Portnoy. Does he not?
Yeah, they did that one bite thing at some pizza pub, him and Harper.
Yep.
That was hilarious. And no one went to Kevin Hayes. No one knew who the fuck he was. Everyone knew who Portnoy was, which was hilarious, and everyone obviously knows who Bryce Harper is. And then sitting on a chair eating his pizza alone was Kevin Hayes. So honestly,
might as well be
maybe
Portnoy's
no one knows
twin.
who the hell he is. So they just said, he's his double just in case someone gets shot. It's going to be Kevin Hayes.
Well, wait, Portnoy's going on Twitter. He's probably going to get shot at some point.
Keep going at AOC. It's hilarious. I told him to debate me.
I love Portnoy, by the way. He's an asshole.
Such a jackass.
He's such a jackass, but it's funny, though.
Stephanie goes, he's just like you. He's calling people idiots and calling people out for no reason. I'm like, whoa. Yes.
Fair. So, anywho.
Sorry.
I think, no, it's fair. I think, Kevin Hayes, we overpaid like $700K to like $1.2 million, which is not crazy. The crazy thing I thought was the years he got.
It's a crazy thing everyone thinks.
Yes, and I think it's way too many years, and I think that it was just, you don't sign for that many years if you don't kind of want to come here. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
So,
well, there's a level of commitment involved at that point.
And I just think, he was talking to someone else, like another NHL player, allegedly. Maybe he's had a few beers and he's just joking around. Like you don't know the context really. You're just it's hearsay and it's bullshit. But at the same time, he was kind of overpaid and he was overtermed. But at the same time, he's still going to come here. He's going to play hockey. He's not going to be a guy that's checked out. I hope.
No, I think he's going to be fine.
Yeah, I think he'll be fine as our second line center, future third line right winger.
I mean, for me, it's
overpaid at third line right
very
winger.
overpaid, but
we're talking about the Flyers here, so just about everybody's overpaid in some way or another.
I think that was what scared people the most. Was like, oh, you see, Philadelphia Flyers are not like a team people want to go to anymore. That's not sure. Maybe it's somewhat more true now without Ed Snyder being here, but it's still a big name franchise with like such long history. Like you're gonna want to come here. You know what the fans are. You know they'll pay you.
That's true.
It will always be a team that a player wants to come to unless they want to stay in a home area.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point.
Or they don't want to play for a team that's plagued in a 45-year cup drought.
Right around there.
Yeah, but that adds to it. It's like they have long history. They've always been close. Maybe I can put them over the hump.
Some players have that attitude.
Others
Not
don't.
everyone.
Yeah. I get what you guys saying. You just want to say I'm wrong, but that's fair.
See, for me, I mean, it is what it is. Hayes isn't exactly starting off on the right foot by, you know.
But this wasn't something. He didn't grab a microphone and just go, "Hey, motherfucker, I don't want to play for Philly unless they overpay."
I'm not saying that he
was like
did
what
that.
Steve
I'm just saying it's not the best look when you just signed with a team. He's not exactly starting off with Bryce Harper, immediately warming up to the town and whatnot. But if he comes out and plays well, it's all going to blow over.
It's not really his fault though. He was just talking to another player who I assume he's friends with.
Yeah,
this shit just got leaked. And shit happens. We all have talk.
That stuff with the Senators last year about their owner.
Yes, exactly. I think it's very close to that.
That was pretty hilarious, by the way.
Yes, we're behind the fucking Flyers and the penalty kill.
That was the most embarrassed I've ever been to be a Flyers fan.
Me was luckily in 2010.
Oh, man.
All right, that's fair.
Still, yeah, I mean, it's even out of context, like talking to another player, not exactly the best foot to start off on, but at the same time, I don't blame him for it.
You can't be honest with your friends and people you're close with.
I'm not gonna.
Come on now.
Yeah,
I'm not taking it personally. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
If he comes out, he produces, it all blows over. Water under the bridge.
You better score at least 50 points, Kevin Hayes, or else I'll be angry.
It's all about that point production.
It's that 50-point plateau.
As long as your point production matches your salary, then you're fine.
No, you're not, because people hate Jake
People
Voracek.
hate Jake, and he's right in line with where he should be.
He is. We
people
will
who-
die on this.
The people who hate Jake Voracek are completely out of line.
It's okay. He promised to chip pucks in, and
That was
good
the
shots.
funniest birthday thing I've ever
It
seen.
really was.
Every time I cross the red line, I'll chip it in.
Yes.
Every time I cross the blue line, I will shoot.
Did you not see it?
No, I saw it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
It is hilarious.
and I can't wait for as soon as he does new game one.
I hope he does a Cole Irvin in the preseason or in spring training where he chips it in and he gives the fans a fist pump.
Absolutely.
It's a total Jake Voracek move.
I'll take it. Game one. Home opener. In Czech Republic. Or whatever. The Czech Republic game.
Oh,
Chips it in.
that would be hilarious.
Oh, wait.
And these people love me.
Yeah.
Jake, the once every blue moon that he does log into Twitter is pretty fucking hilarious.
Oh, he's brilliant.
I don't know. He's always on. He just blocks people.
That's it. That's his
That
whole,
is
that's
true.
his whole gag.
That is true. That is very true. All right, so we're moving on to actually going to keep talking in some regard to Kevin Hayes here. Bill Meltzer came out with his quick hits, his most recent one, which I think was published about like 5 or 6 days ago. And the first comment he made on there was, the presence of Kevin Hayes should challenge Nolan Patrick to elevate his game. How much stock do you guys put into that?
I can see it.
You can say it?
I can see Patrick taking over 2C eventually, and then Kevin Hayes either dropping down a bit, playing more of a defensive role. So, his point production, I will have to kill. Or he transitions, or Hayes goes to the wing. He's playing with G and Konechny, or no, not G and Konechny, G and Couturier. And Konechny kind of drops down, forms a faster line with like the younger guys.
Nolan Patrick,
Yeah. And or even Voracek goes up there, and Hayes is playing with Patrick himself, just at the wing. But I could see, there's a lot of like depth and like versatility with the lineup that we have right now that we're not realizing yet. So I could see, Nolan Patrick getting 50 points.
Okay.
I'll one-up you. I'll go 60.
I was trying to be
Realistic.
right there.
I'm going above.
I was
above
baiting.
beyond.
I was baiting.
I'm going to go with 55.
Yeah, Jackass is right in the middle.
Playing both sides.
Fading the feud. I bet $1. I bet $2.
Shane, what's your feelings on this? This whole Kevin Hayes elevating the play of Nolan Patrick.
I think the situation helps Patrick more than Hayes himself. I think the fact that you have a guy who, like I mentioned earlier, he's a really good 5-on-5 guy. He's going to produce points. Apparently the Eagles did something. I just heard LJ through the wall. But it's a situation that allows a guy who at times last year looked a little overmatched and hesitant. It puts him back into that 3C role where kind of let the game come to you a little bit more. But very much so like what Steve said. I think that the versatility of like the middle six plus TK, those guys right there, I think we legitimately could have what you could argue as two actual second lines. Like, I don't know that a true third line exists here. There's so much talent in that middle six, and there's so many different ways that you can utilize them. Whether you wanted to go the faster route, like what Steve said, and dropping a TK down and playing him with the kids, whether one of the Frost or Farabee come up on that additional wing there and add some youth and some explosiveness from that standpoint. To me, I agree with you guys 100%. I think this is going to be a really, really nice year for Nolan Patrick, and I think it's going to be the beginning of like his Couturier run, where we start to see what kind of player he truly is. Microphones dropping. That was Steve's cock, by the way. So for any female listeners, it's a massily average thing.
Are you trying to avoid that failed wingman thing?
Forever and always.
Playing up Steve?
Forever and always.
That's a hell of an attempt right there.
Forever and always failing. That would be a hard dick to make that sound.
Oh my god!
Like
it
a
would,
steel
man.
one.
Just boom. Fuck.
Man. I actually,
But go ahead, yeah.
going back to this whole Kevin Hayes, Nolan Patrick kind of thing. In a way, I see it alleviating a lot of pressure on Nolan Patrick.
Yeah, for sure.
I think that in and of itself is going to help him, but also the fact that he's going to want to, play his best hockey, motivate himself as much as possible to take, that second line spot from Kevin Hayes. Because he wants more ice time, he wants a chance to prove himself and be out there with the big boys, putting up bigger numbers. So I think in the beginning of the season, you'll see him produce more because there's less pressure on him and he's going against the bottom of the barrel defensively. He's facing more second and third pairing guys. As that goes along, I think that he eventually makes the jump to the second line, and he has a chance to prove himself there. And that's part of the reason why I say 60 points is within reach for Nolan Patrick.
What year, or do you think it's this year, that he overtakes that 2C spot?
The 2C, I think he does it this year.
Do you?
I think he does it towards the end of this year, probably after the All-Star break.
I agree with that. Maybe a little bit later than the All-Star break, and then we enter the playoffs with Kevin Hayes playing third-line center.
Which is a good thing, because Kevin Hayes will be a very good third-line center.
And very overpaid.
Great.
But that's fair.
Lee overpaid.
Hey, it doesn't matter how much he's getting paid as long as he's producing.
Yeah, well, it's
not
not
my
always
money.
true, but
It's not our money. So
Yeah,
as long as the team is winning, who cares? Who cares who's getting paid what?
as a man that scours the salary cap as often as
true.
I do, it kind of irritates me. But
Yeah.
as long as we win a cup in the 7 years, I can probably get over it.
yeah, I'll find a way to be okay with it.
If we win a Stanley Cup, I don't care if we have a fourth line guy who scores 0 points and is getting paid $100 million a season.
I might care a little.
I'll care a
because that could be us. I could go out there and not score.
Yeah, us without knees could go
Right?
there.
I mean, I'll block a puck off my face. Be
Literally, you could-
I
you
will
could
Ian
pull off
LeParrier
a,
that shit
that's
every
what I'm
single
saying.
day. Just
You could
hit
pull
me
off
with the
Billy
drums.
Lano with the Sabres season.
Villy.
Good old Billy Lano.
Screw Villy.
Fucking Billy Lane.
What did he rob them for? How much did they pay him to not score any goals?
I will give you the number.
Oh,
Billy Lano. Okay.
dead air.
Just keep talking while I do it. Just keep talking.
We can edit this out.
I'm not going to edit everything out. It's a podcast.
All right.
Full
Billy
dead
Lano
air.
had approximately 10 goals in 140-ish games.
After he scored 19 in 81 games with the
Yes.
Flyers.
So that was because he was Brienne Hartnell.
Yeah, that was a team that went to the Stanley Cup. He had a lot of talent around him.
I think it was the year after.
It
was
was
the year
the year
after
after.
because
That's right, because he scored that Game 6 goal against Buffalo.
Yeah.
So he broke their heart.
Yes,
and then
And then he got
Yes.
signed by them and
Yeah,
then broke it
good
again for 142 more times.
as
Man.
if us as Flyers fans have never seen that. Jody Shelley scored 2 goals against us in one game, and then we gave him 3 years and like 1.1 a year, which was a fucking absurd.
Didn't he also score their only goal against us in that 82nd game as well before we came back and won?
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah. So
This is
he
exactly-
scored 3 goals in 2 games against us.
Yes, and that's why he got 3 years and 1.1 million a year.
Yeah. Fuck you, Jody Shelley. You're a jackass.
Yeah.
Go fuck yourself.
Fucking hated that guy.
Title of the pod.
So, rounding up, we'll have one more little thing after this, but rounding up Flyers talk for this segment, we're going to grade the offseason. And this is just going to be a league-wide kind of thing, not specific to the Flyers. Give me the team that you think fared the best this offseason and the team that you think fared the worst. And Shane is Steve, yes.
What?
Shane is...
I'm not pointing.
I'm getting my names all mixed up here, and I swear to you, I'm not drunk. Shane is pointing to Steve. That means Steve has to start this one off.
I'm going with Dallas.
Dallas has the best offseason.
Yes, they got Joe Pavelski for a 3-year, $7 million a year. That is absurd.
That's exactly what we were going for.
I went 9 a year.
No. Did you say 9?
Yes, I would have been okay with giving Joe Pavelski $9 million a year for 3 years.
So everyone should have been.
Yes, but he got 3 years for $7 million
yeah.
in Dallas. I think he just wants to stick to San Jose.
I don't know. I wouldn't pay him $9 million. He's halfway to CTE after what happened in that Vegas series.
I don't give a shit. He would score 30 goals a year. That man's brain will be fucking pudding, and he'll still score fucking 25 at least. But he would have been the perfect choice to, solidify these rumors, like the whole locker room issues. Guy was the captain. He definitely would have gotten an A, probably a reward check. No offense to him. They added Corey Perry. I fucking hate Corey Perry, but I can't deny his skill and that he's been hurt. But for 1 year, 1.5 a year or something he got, maybe 2, that he's going to score 20 goals for him. And I can see that happening, and that's great to help their depth so they don't have Tyler Pitlick playing their third-line wing.
I don't know if he'll score 20. He hasn't been quite that effective in a few years.
I can see him as
Anaheim.
In a lesser role, I could see him performing that well, going for the NHL Cy Young, 20 goals, 2 assists. And then they added Andre Sekera, who I think is a very solid defenseman, who's also had injury problems, but I think he will solidify their defense, and you're trying to prove me wrong. Corey Perry right now, aren't you?
Corey Perry he scored 34 goals back in 15-16.
Yes.
He only had 6 last year. He only played 31 games.
Yeah, he got hurt. He's definitely on the decline, but I could see him pushing 20. I could see it happening in Dallas. And then they still have Ben Bishop, and then Kudobin, I think, is still their backup, who is very good. I think he could be a starter on the team.
Yeah, one of the better backups in the NHL.
Yeah, so that's who I say is their best, and I think they will really fight to win that division.
Shane, what do you got?
I had Florida.
What? You had Florida? I thought you were going to both say New Jersey, but I switched to Dallas because I actually really thought about it.
So New Jersey had a great
Yeah.
offseason.
Watch, that's Rob's choice.
I think they were ranked 3rd, though, in an article that I read. I don't know.
Jersey, yeah.
Yeah, so, but no, I just went purely, they got their goaltender, they got their coach, they showed up some defensive stuff, so they're a team that excites me, and...
Plus, they got some kid named Jack Hughes.
No, that's a
Jersey?
No, he's talking about Florida.
Oh, Florida. Yeah.
That
thrown off
You made me misspeak too. I was like, yeah, that happened to Jersey. Oh wait,
Yeah.
Wait, no, I was like, no, it happened to the Rangers. I don't know. Shit got fucked up. Let's continue.
But yeah, no, I think that in terms of teams that could make the largest leap, they're the team that does it.
I just think they I wanted Anton Strauman,
So did I, but they overpaid for him.
They really overpaid for him. So
Yeah.
Who's the forward? I think they signed a forward. I just don't remember who it was.
I have their transaction list up. Hold on.
Okay. Because I do appreciate the Bobrovsky
Connolly.
Connolly? Brett Connolly.
Yeah,
right. I thought he was a decent depth signing. I would have looked at for third line right winger here, but he got a little bit much. But getting Bobrovsky for 10 years when you just drafted a goalie in the first round, goalies don't take 10 years to develop.
They don't.
They're going to be hitting that deal after 5 years, probably.
The thing is, they gave him $10 million a year for 7 years. I think it was. Sorry, I missed
8 years, I think. Right?
No, it had to be 7 because 8 is only if you.
8 if you were from there. Yeah.
You don't happen to know if there's any clause in that contract, is there? No trade, no movement?
I can buy in 2 seconds, unlike Shane.
Why? What else was I looking for?
You're looking for the forward they signed besides Brett Connolly. Was it just Brett Connolly?
I think it's. Who the hell else did they have?
Oh, well, they still have Sasha Barkov, who is amazing.
He's ridiculous.
He is right up there with Sean Couturier level of elite. and I totally am very jealous of them having Sasha Barkov because I would love to have that 1-2 tandem of Couturier and Barkov.
Would be a thing of beauty.
While he's searching, who's your team?
Bobrovsky got 7
My team's
years.
the Rangers.
7 years, 10
Capo Caco, great draft pick for them.
Best
Also,
name in hockey.
yeah. And
Until
one that
next
I'm
season.
always going to get mixed up. I'm half the time I'm going to call him Caco Capo.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I'll
many
do it
beers
too.
in?
Actually, I won't do it because of the name. It's just,
By the way, fuck his parents for giving him a first name that's so close to his last name.
Hilarious.
Yeah, I'm going to get that mixed up for as long as he lives.
That sucks that both of me and Steve were at one point thinking New Jersey. You went with New York, and the
Yeah.
Flyers are just here.
we'll do the honor mention in Jersey.
Like I said, I think that they were ranked third in whatever article it was I read.
New York had to be top 3, right?
I think they were just outside the top.
The ESPN one, I think they were third. It was Dallas, Jersey, and Rangers. But the Rangers, they got Panarin, Breadman, but they still don't have any depth, and I think they made this move too soon. Like, they're still rebuilding. And they also fucked their cap situation by doing that because they had to re-sign such and such, and then they bought out Shattenkirk, which I thought was absurd. If I would have bought anybody out as a Rangers executive, I would have bought out Brendan Smith. Maybe it didn't work as much because I never, entertained the idea of buying out Shattenkirk, who could come back and perform well. But yeah, they had some good moments in the offseason. I just didn't see it as one of the best.
I think Jacob Trouba is the biggest free agency signing of the offseason. That's the big reason why I go with the Rangers number 1. I also...
How's Isaiah handling that?
Honestly, I have no clue.
He was a huge Trouba
Yeah,
guy.
he was a big
He was
Trouba
like
guy.
driving that bus.
He couldn't have been too happy about it. He was a big trooper to the Flyers guy.
By the way, listen to OMB podcast.
Yeah, they're
fantastic
great.
guys.
Isaiah's a great dude. Yeah. And
Yeah, Dan,
everyone
Chef
on
B
that
to the
show.
left. I love the fact that they call him
Yeah.
Chef B to the left.
Yeah.
It's great. Just great quality
Great show.
podcasting.
Listen to us first, though.
Sure.
Yeah.
Compare and contrast and show us how we could be better than them.
Also, I was going to add on, if I'm a Rangers fan, I like the Shattenkirk buyout just because I don't think he is worth what they were paying him, and he's a big cap hit. So if they were able to buy him out, I think that's going to be a beneficial move to them.
I don't
future
see
years.
that. I just don't see that at all because they could have traded him even for less value, and you're just getting
Get
away.
something.
Retain something. I just think you could have gotten something. For
I don't know if there would have been any buyers for Shattenkirk at his cap hit.
I think there could have been. I think he went to Edmonton. No, I don't remember where he went to. I'm not searching it. I don't give a fuck. Fuck you, Kevin Shattenkirk. Fuck you, Rangers. But the Devils, true fuck you to you. I really think that they should have been the third one there.
All right, so who do you guys have as having the worst offseason out of all the
Start with
NHL teams?
Columbus.
Yep.
Yeah.
We all have.
They lost-
I think that's pretty unanimous.
They lost everyone, and I like the Gustav Nyquist signing. It's a decent move for them to at least try to
Start to recoup.
get back at the points that they have lost with everybody that they lost.
Literally everyone.
It's-
And another thing that I think they lost it is they didn't go out to try to find a replacement for Bobrovsky. They have Jonas Corposalo, and then they have some other guy I don't even know. I was just looking at it, and I don't remember his name, so that means he's not that good. But yeah, they fucked up. I appreciate them going all in at the deadline,
Yeah.
but you want to, get something to make up for it a bit in free agency where you have cap space after losing those guys, but they just didn't do it.
It was worth it to them. They won their first ever playoff series.
I can see
And
that.
the biggest upset, arguably, in recent NHL playoff history, taking down the Tampa Bay in a sweep. But
That was insane.
Dog shit series.
at the end of the day, yeah, they had a terrible offseason. And it's even worse for them because they're a small market team, and we all see how it's tougher for small market teams to rebound from losing star players. You see it with teams like Arizona. I wanted to call them Phoenix. I still have that temptation. They'll lose a guy, and it'll take them a long time to bounce back from. We'll see it with Florida. They'll lose somebody, take them a long time to bounce back. It might be the same situation with Columbus. It's a small market team. They lost literally everybody, pretty much from goaltender to defense to forward. So yeah, they're going to be stuck in a little bit of a mess and a little bit of a rebuilding situation for years to come. So that's a tough bullet to swallow for them.
Yeah, for sure.
The one thing they do still have to do is sign Zach Werenski, and I think Werenski will sign first for Columbus, and that will really set the market for Provorov. And I think
Didn't he? Thought he bridged. Hold on.
No. Werenski Silver RFA. I got it up already.
You got quicker thumbs than I have, apparently.
I've cat friendly on speed dial. But yeah, also their backup goalie right now is Elvis. Great name for a first name, as a foreign. Merzlikins.
What a name!
So he's got quite the name, but I just
that might be my new favorite hockey name right there.
Nah, it's not better than Kaka, as you just
Capo
said you were
Caco?
going to say it.
Capo Caco.
I know what his name
Caco
is.
Capo?
That's it. You were in reverse.
Caco Capo.
But Capo Caco will reserve that title of best hockey name until Maxime Sushko
Our
is in
very
the NHL.
first Flyers hockey pod that you and I did. That was your very first prediction of things. He was going to have the best name in all of hockey.
Yep, because he is.
Europeans in general just have such cool fucking names.
I know.
Jaromir Jagr is going to be the best one ever, though. That's my favorite.
With the best hair at the time as
Yeah. Jaromir Jagr.
Yes. I said that all the time as a kid. Can't lie. Jaromir Jagr? No, it's Jaromir.
Oh, man.
But yeah. Maxime Sushko will take over. Best name, not quite skill.
Yeah, definitely not skill.
Would be a pleasant surprise if they took over skills-wise.
Yeah,
but not going to happen.
happening.
All right, so
There's
we're
no
going
Tom Brady's in the NHL. Besides
Doesn't
maybe Joe
happen.
Pavelski.
Maybe.
But he never won. So.
Doubtful. So we're going to end with one last segment, not really hockey-related. It can be if you want it to be, but it's called the line change. And basically what it is just give us something that's going on in the world right now, whether it's related to the Flyers, whether it's related to hockey, or whether it's completely unrelated to either one. What's something that's going on in the world right now that you would like to change? And Shane, we'll start off with you, since Steve is busy messing with something over here.
Dog waste bags.
They were uneven.
That drives me crazy, too. Okay. So something
Steve
I would
wants
like
to change the way the dog waste bag is.
Oh, no, I got something else.
Okay.
You got something else now?
Keep going.
I wish that politics was illegal on social media, like cyber social media, so Facebooks and things of that sort. I wish so
Is
much.
there such thing as non-cyber social media?
Media in general.
Okay,
yes.
okay.
Dick. No, I think that there are entirely too many idiots out there that have opinions that shouldn't be heard. And if you're an attractive human or a funny human and you have a following base of the tens and hundreds of thousands for no fucking reason, but you have nothing to do with politics, please do not tell and inform your tens and hundreds of thousands of followers your incorrect views or your ridiculous views. It's fucking absurd. I wish that there was a way that they could literally, anytime you tried to type something and post anything political, it rejected the send portion of your post. I want it to be only the major news outlets. I want only credible sources out there reporting these things. I want us to be a well-informed people, not what we are now, where my neighbor thinks this and my other neighbor thinks that, so one of these two assholes is right and the other one's going to get shot dead because we live in a fucked up world. I hate it, man. I want only credible people informing us about the state of our country. That's it. And I don't want to read it for some dumb cunt on social media.
Yeah, there's a reason why I don't follow MSNBC and CNN and all them on Twitter, and yet I'm still seeing my timeline flooded with political bullshit.
I wish
It's
you could
really
Also,
annoying.
another way to make that work, not to cut you guys off, is maybe not make college the most fucking expensive thing in the history of the world outside of having a dumbass kid. Let's make it easier to be smart and well-informed to understand these things so that if one of us three idiots out there was just like, you know what? I'd like to post something political right now and maybe sound intelligent because I have the background to support that and I can do it. But most people don't afford to go to college for that type of shit.
And also, most people don't have common sense when it comes to anything political either.
Well, politics in general is the dirtiest thing on the planet.
It is.
That is dirtier than porn. And
No matter which side you're on.
So, oh yeah, 100%.
I just wish there was a mute button where anything that's
There is a mute button. Mute the words.
Okay, I have to mute every single word that has to do with politics.
Everything.
Yeah.
Every single
Every
one.
single
Just
word.
ask
too
Jake
lazy.
Voracek and his publicist to do it for you. Not publicist. PR person. Person, maybe? Whatever. Ask Jake Voracek about it. What the first
Public
chip in.
relations is the same thing.
The first chip in. Jake, how do you mute everyone? That's it.
But then I would not get any talk.
You don't need that shit. None of us need that shit.
I need to see the shit to get angry about so I can talk about it on here or Whiskey
Or
Ramble.
Whiskey Ramble. All right, that's fair. We'll allow one source a week. We will unmute. And we'll hope to God they come up with something of gold.
I just heard L again, by the way.
Yeah.
Someone's dead.
Yeah.
Probably Cody Kessler's.
So, Steve, what's the one thing that you would change?
People running businesses out of Starbucks. I don't understand it. I've seen like 3 people go to the Starbucks next to my work, and they're like running businesses out of it. I don't get it. One,
Free Wi-Fi.
go home. You're already paying for it.
Do you want strangers of your business coming into your home? The only thing that's good about that is it's a tax write-off.
No, they're literally like, sure, like if you're meeting someone, go to a Starbucks. I don't give a shit. Don't spend 7 hours there. You should not be there the same time as my shift,
And
which
still
is
be
like
there.
9 hours. Yes. It's absurd. I don't understand it. Just stay home and have a little office, even if it's your bedroom. I don't give a shit.
Rob, what are you doing tomorrow? You want to go have a business meeting for... Do you want to go business meeting at Starbucks taco style?
I've actually done that a couple times.
It's called business meeting.
Yeah.
I understand a meeting, but to have like your whole like full day spent at Starbucks, I don't get it. I understand the homeless man that's staying there. He's got nowhere else to go, and they can't kick him out, and he showers in there. But I digress from that. It's just, what the fuck? Just stay home or like go. I don't know.
I do think that if you go longer than like 30 minutes, Starbucks should start charging like an hourly
Occupancy
rate.
thing.
I can't talk hourly rate for how long you stay there.
Right? Like, hey, yeah, sure, you get free refills, but after an hour, it's like $5, which is like basically the cost anyway. But yeah, it just irritates me. I've been seeing it for nine months now, and
So basically, stop running your business out of Starbucks.
yes.
So Starbucks is going to be the official hub of ANYP Network. We will now conduct all of our meetings and interviews in Starbucks, next to Steve's bank.
That sucks because I actually really like the diner.
I love the diner.
Yeah, the diner's awesome. Oh, one thing that I would change is slow fucking drivers. My God, man, it's become
You
a
are
real
always good for
issue.
this.
It's become a real issue now over the past 2 weeks. I've been commuting an hour each way over to Jersey for my annual training. My God, man, I take back roads because generally they're not crowded and generally I don't get stuck behind people. But when I do, it's like it varies between 40 and 45 miles an hour. And I always get stuck behind that one damn person who insists on maxing out at the speed limit. Or usually below it.
Don't you love how they look at you like you're the fucking problem?
I know, right?
Like you see them looking at you through the side view mirror and they're like,
Jesus
this
Christ.
asshole riding my ass.
It is.
Never mind the fact that I'm going 12.5 miles an hour.
Well, the reason I'm riding your ass is because I'm doing the fucking speed limit. If you were doing it as well, then it wouldn't be an issue.
It's true.
Look, if you're going below the speed limit, you are a fucking asshole. If you're going 35 and a 40 and you have a line of 7 cars behind you and you don't feel any remorse for it, you're a fucking asshole. And you need to not be driving a car. You need to be taking public transportation every single where you go. Get an Uber. Get off the road. You don't belong there.
Or this fucking planet.
Yeah, you're a fucking asshole. Get the fuck off the road. If the speed limit is 40 miles an hour, you should be doing at least 40, ideally doing 45. And if you can't do that, then you shouldn't have a license. End rant.
And rant. Until next week when we revisit the next asshole on the road that pissed
Yes.
Rob off.
All right, so you guys got, before we wrap up here, any final thoughts on the state of the Philadelphia Flyers or anything you want to add into this beautiful episode here?
I don't know. I feel like Shane does.
Do you want me to do the ad spot?
You can. I was going to do it, but you can do it.
Oh, you can totally do it. I've done 3 of them now.
Yeah.
2 of them.
Can even count.
I don't know. Too many.
Provorov asking for $10 million allegedly.
I meant to say
is
that.
terrible, and I don't think it was even real.
I hope it's not real.
It's not. Like the 8 is where I max out, but we're really waiting on Zach Werenski to get signed, and I think then Provorov will sign. So that's my final thought.
Fair enough.
Given I have a final question for both of you. You guys need to give me the thought. We co-wrote the article
Yes.
on the website, www.alwaysnextyearpodcast.com. You can find the article. Steve did all the research. I put that research to actual thought and articulate sentences. I know it doesn't seem that way with the way that I talk on these podcasts, but I swear to God I can do it sometimes. That being said, we talked about bridge versus long-term deal, TK and Provorov. Has your stance changed? Are you still bridge TK and long-term Provi?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes, I am.
You?
I'm still in the same boat.
Yeah, see, I see some people now starting to flip that, and they're like, well, let's just give Provi the money that he wants right now. Let's give him that $9 million or so over 2-3 years.
I have to
risk.
change my opinion though, because I really was thinking 5 years for TK.
5 for
and I don't think that's really bridge as so much as like an actual contract.
It is a contract.
It's the middle of bridge and long term. It's like literally like you're getting a deal. It's like you're not bridging. You're not getting true long term. You're just getting.
I would have went 3 years and just upped the dollars a little bit for him for TK right now. Yeah. But going 5 for 5 would be ideal. Yeah.
I think the rumor is like 2 for like 4.5 right now, which I'm fine with. But
financially, sure. But then when he fucking pots 35 goals and stops hitting posts, he's going to be a $12 million fucking forward.
Nah, he's not Patrick Laine.
Yeah, it's a situation where you got to prepare for the future a little bit.
You look like TK, by the way.
You always got to mention that. Which I don't.
Failed wingman.
Add 40 pounds, sure, and no muscle.
Speaking of that, that's the article YouTube put together, correct?
Yep.
And we also have one that our guy Joe Borick, who just joined the podcast, he writing for us, he came out with one about the new defensive balance that he thinks should help out Carter Hart. So everyone, go give that one a read as well. It's a good read.
Also, if you've already read it, really sorry about this. When I was editing and transferring things over, I was fucking exhausted last night because I do this shit every single day now. And I pulled his first paragraph, first, second, and third paragraph, and then re-pulled his first like an asshole. So without rereading what I had already edited up, I then put an article that read paragraph 1, 2, 3, 1 again. Like an asshole. And then Joe texted me and was like, hey man, didn't know if you hated my last paragraph and just wanted to drive home that opening thought, but you put the same paragraph first and last. And I was like, oh fuck me. So Joe, when you're listening to this show, I apologize. Nice piece, good work. Definitely go ahead and give that one a look.
You didn't think to like pull it back out and then just read?
I did. I fixed it.
All right. It looks good now.
Sorry, I was
as far as everyone who didn't see it is concerned, it never happened.
Okay. I wasn't listening to the very first part of your final thought.
Yeah, I fixed it. Take it easy.
All right, so I'll wrap it up for us. I just want to remind you, Just Food, treat yourself, take it home, located in Buckingham Green, right here in Buckingham, PA. Well, I shouldn't say right here. We're not in Buckingham, but right here in Bucks County, Buckingham Green, 215-794-FOOD. And Shane, you have to remind me of what food is.
It's 2 fucking numbers. How do you guys keep forgetting
I'm an idiot.
It's 215-794-FOOD. 215-794-3663.
3663. Okay, there we go.
So treat yourself, take it home.
Treat yourself, take it home. And we'll definitely be hitting them up for a number of our football parties that we have throughout the season.
Pulled pork.
Yeah. There really is no other option. It's a great place to go. Fantastic. And you should take our word for it and go there because they're fucking awesome. So, yes, 215-794-FOOD. That's Just Food. Treat yourself. Take it home. That'll wrap it up for this episode of Disciples of Ed. We'll be back with another one coming up next week.
A fighting man I used to be, revered and feared through Killarney. Now I'm back to hitching with the wind. But if Mickey Flynn should ever find me, I'll throw me caution all behind me and square off on that son of a bitch again. He cracked open a river too. He beat me Sunday through and through. And such over my unconscious frame. I won me healthy sheriff fights. Well, lucky son still had me life since Mickey Flynn beat me dumb and lame.